Have you had like a series of like everything that could go
Yep.
wrong went wrong?
Oh, yeah. When we were at Laguna Seca, we were back to back. We had that wire short out that
Yeah.
happened at the end of race one. We thought we found the issue. We didn't. Had to open up the actual loom to get to it to re-insulate it. So then it shorted out again in race two under safety car. Or race three came around. I started from the back, drove the wheels off it. Race four, I got rear-ended in turn one and broke the radiator.
Oh,
And I watched that temperature gauge soar, and I was like, whatever. If it blows up, it blows up.
welcome to this episode of the Legends Made podcast. My guest is an electric young man. Got an amazing story. Started racing at a young age, around 14 years old. Now doing some crazy stuff, 150-foot jumps. It's wild. We got Ellis on. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe if you haven't already, and let's get into it. Ellis, man, good to see you finally.
Yeah, nice finally in person.
In person, yeah, we've been chatting on Instagram a little bit, which if nobody's ever looked at your Instagram, plug it real quick, but your Instagram is awesome.
Yeah, like Elysium_Racing on pretty much everything is where it's at. So Instagram is like the primary source of just absolute mayhem.
It's amazing. So, I mean, I scrolled through there, and one week you're, I don't know, like in Germany, the next you're in Colorado, the next, and one day you're in driving go-karts, the next you're motocross. Like how the heck did you get into all of this?
I mean, it's basically just like this past year has been like the culmination of our attitude of drive everything has now just like come to a head of last week was a 1100 horsepower rallycross car. Next month will be the first track day on the bike.
Okay.
And then probably we'll be racing in the Rush SR, doing some testing up at Crescent in a couple of weeks. So like all over the place, but it's been great.
How did you get into just racing in general?
Video games and go-karts. Like
Yeah.
I was playing Forza Motorsport 3 when I was like 4 years old. But then, when I was about 12, I got one of the racing wheels just for my Xbox. I was playing Forza Horizon, and local shopping mall had a rental kart league, and we were like, all right, let's give it a shot. And 8 weeks later, placed third, made it to the playoffs, won the playoffs, went to the national thing, and got like 10th, 11th. So after that, thought we were Max Verstappen. Was like, oh, let's go to Europe for 4 months and go race electric cars in Germany, and I got my butt kicked.
Oh, wow. Was that humbling for you at that time?
For sure. Like, I thought rental kart, I was like, oh, I won here. I can win over here. It's just a go-kart. And chucking me into a 50 horsepower, like, just death trap for my first race season was interesting.
Okay. So you were over there for how long? 4 months?
Yeah, season one was 4 months, just about. And it just kept ramping up. Like, then it was 8 months. Then we moved there. And then 3 years later, we finally moved back to the States. So it just, like, kind of snowballed into this European driver development adventure for 4 years.
Wow. How old were you when you started, when you went over to Europe?
I was 14. So I turned
14.
I turned 15 pretty much at the end of season one.
Oh, wow. So Braden, here you go. You're 13, buddy. This is the opportunity right now. And I know you're looking at me saying, come on, Dad, take me to the track. So, so who was the inspiration to get you really into racing? Was it you or your parents who are over here?
I mean, they do film and video. So like they are not motorsport people. They are now.
Okay.
They are absolutely now. They're motorsport, fanatics just like me. My grandfather was kind of the lone car guy in the family. And so he sort of steered the ship that way. So most expensive time playing on the Xbox with him in hindsight. But no, it was kind of just YouTube certified. Like I learned everything from self-taught research. And then one of the managers at the indoor kart track was kind of like, he's pretty good. I think I could teach him. And my parents didn't know what he was talking about. He was like, all right, give it a shot. And went on the adult speed, started breaking track records. And then he actually ended up mechanicking for me for that first season in Germany.
Wow.
So it was a big step up.
So 14 to 20. You just turned 20. Okay. Wow. So you've been doing this for roughly 6 or 7 years?
Yeah, we're on year number 6. This is season 6.
Season 6. What's your favorite to drive?
Oh man. I mean, it's the car I just drove, the FC1X, the 1,000 horsepower rallycross, like just beast is insane. Like electric, 4 motors, just unreal amount of power. And they didn't turn it down for us either. They had it cranked all the way up. And so doing that after circuit racing where like, oh yeah, 300 horsepower is kind of like around where the fast stuff starts to kick in. It was a lot, but it was fun.
Was that scary to jump into that, or were you just like ready to go?
I actually think it was less scary than I thought it was going to be.
Okay.
I thought it was going to be like, it's $1 million race car. Like that's the most expensive thing I've ever driven. And it was super intuitive, like super comfortable, and got to shred some tires. I went through a whole set in 2 laps.
In 2 laps?
Yep.
How much does that cost to run through a whole set of tires? Because I know how much they are on this car.
We don't know because it wasn't part of the contract that we had to pay for tires. So it was one of those situations like, not my car, not my tires. Just don't hit the wall and we can do whatever we want.
Oh, that's cool. If anybody's out there that wants to give me that experience, please, I will take that experience. Yeah. So I just tracked this the first time on COTA 3 weeks ago. And I'll tell you, I've got a Porsche I drive, and fun car, easy to get around on the track. I was almost petrified. In fact, if you saw the video, I was scared. I got around turn 1 and I was gone. I was having so much fun in this car ripping. So I could imagine like the nerves go away once you hit turn 1, right?
Oh, for sure. It's one of those, like once you get past like half a lap and you're not dead yet, we're set. And so honestly, it was the most sketchy part with the test was they couldn't really get like a proper rallycross track. So we were at Orlando Speed World, which I think they hosted FD and a couple other drift events.
Okay.
So we were on like a figure 8 like oval. And so it's not a lot of space to let 1,000 horsepower rip. And with most race cars, it's no different than supercars as well. Like the slower you go, the worse it is. Like you have to go fast to make them work the way they should.
Right.
And so it's kind of just like, all right, foot to the floor, crank it up and see what happens.
Now the figure 8, were there cars coming across each other?
No, they said they put us out alone.
Oh, okay.
But it was more so just the layout of like the walls are very close and those bumpers are expensive.
What's the biggest crash you've had?
Man, I think when it comes to like personal injury, I had a karting accident in France where I flipped over a fence, and that was pretty solid.
Pretty solid?
Pretty solid. I think when it comes
20-year-old jargon, man, that's pretty solid.
I think when it comes to cost, actually was one of the smallest incidents I ever had was the most expensive. I was racing a TCR car, and I clipped a tire stack like by this much, and the front bumper and front fender exploded. And I kept racing to the whole thing. They were just cracked, and we got the bill, and it was like 8,000 euros, which is
12 grand.
12 grand for a bumper and a fender. So I think like cost wise, that was the most expensive half lap that I ever did in a race car.
Wow.
But when it comes to personal injury, that one in France was pretty good. That was crazy.
How does that work, right? So my son wants to get into racing, and obviously you need sponsors or a ton of money, right? How does that work with you trying to get sponsors and to pay for all of this stuff? Because it's a very expensive sport.
Yeah, I mean it's when it goes down to it, it's like most of the big ticket like ambassadorship sponsorships I have nothing to do with me being in a car.
Oh, really?
It's all like this amount of Instagram posts a month, this amount of stories a month. We just want they have special content they do that they need me to act in. So Varta is basically the German version of Optima batteries over here.
Okay.
They're owned by the same parent company, and I do some educational content for them and stuff for them internally.
Okay.
And then a couple Instagram posts a month, and I have their patch on my suit as a formality. Okay. And that's kind of it. Like that's the big ticket stuff. And then other than that, we had a real estate sponsor for Laguna Seca when we did Grid Life. So like random stuff like that is what you kind of piece together. Like, all right, it paid for our tires for the weekend. Awesome.
Okay.
And then that's kind of it. Like it's all nothing to really do with the sticker on the car anymore. It's very, very different.
How hard is it getting sponsorship and paying for all this right now?
It's almost impossible.
Yeah.
It's pretty much like motorsport is in an infinite loop where the cost of sort of running the cars is going up and up and up.
Mm-hmm.
The teams aren't getting the sponsorship they need because companies that don't really have the money to dump into motorsport. So the teams don't get the sponsorship they need. So they charge the drivers more.
Yeah.
Well, then the drivers go out and look for the sponsorship, and the sponsors say, well, we can't even sponsor the team. We're not going to be able to sponsor you. We don't have enough money for the year. It's already put elsewhere. And so the drivers either can't do a full season, get jumped by someone that's self-funded. So that's kind of where the weird place the sport is in right now, is that a lot of it's run on money. The general state of the economy for, big businesses kind of dictates how easy it is for drivers to find funding.
Yeah, that's, you always hear, for like F1, right? These drivers that got to F1, I mean, they spend $25 million to get there.
I say pretty much double it.
Double it?
Yeah, it's closer to 70 now.
Really?
Yep. F4 to go with Prema, I think is almost $1 million for this season for Formula 4. So 15-year-old fresh out of go-karts.
Has to pay $1 million.
Yep.
See, I think that's what people don't understand because they see, Max and these people with these, 30, 40, $50 million contracts.
Yep.
I mean, I think Russell Wilson is squabbling over like $3 million,
Yep.
but he's making $30 million a year. But it took his family and him to pay what, $70 million to get there.
I mean, you can do F4 on like the quote with the normal budget. The aim for Formula 4 was $150,000 a year.
Okay. Which you have to pay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was the FIA's aim with the regulations, the setup of the championships. Cool. You can do that, but you'll be in like the Czech Republic on a grid of 8 with a no-name team.
Mm-hmm.
The only ones where sort of Italian, German, Spanish, where it actually matters,
Mm-hmm.
that's where the budgets are running up and up. I mean, World Championship karting is a $300,000 endeavor for a kid, So
Yeah.
the budgets have inflated, and I think it's like supply and demand. There's people that are willing to pay for it, so they can charge it, It's not one of those things that Prem is asking $1 million and they have an empty trailer. There are people out the door with checks in hand that are praying to get those seats.
Yeah. Yeah, I would imagine it's tough on parents too as you're trying to help your son get to the next level. And it's like, okay, we got to pay 50 grand for this. And then, or you crash a bumper by that much and then it's 12,000 euro.
I mean, that's our problem with the car I tested, the electric rallycross car. The series is doing a great job of lowering the cost. It's completely feasible where we're at to, with some of our own funding and then a sponsorship, be able to do a race weekend.
Yeah.
And that'd be awesome. But we can't afford the crash damage.
Right.
And so we always say, like, whatever you think your crash damage will be, you double it. And so $1 million race car in a series where crashing into each other is kind of encouraged is definitely a challenge as well.
Yeah, we had talked to Bryce. Who was the guy that we talked to with the Ford GT or the Ford Racing? No. Yeah, was it Mike? Forget. Yeah, Scott Dolahite.
Yep.
We talked to him, and he crashed a car off of a wet curb.
Yep.
And I mean, that he's got to pay for that.
Yep. Yeah, you break it, you buy it, folks. That's the moral of the story in racing. You break it, you buy it.
That's wild. That's wild. Well, I wish you the most success with more sponsors. What kind of sponsors do you guys try to get to help you along?
I mean, it's kind of just anyone's down to do cool stuff. Like we want to just, do more cool stuff. Like that's it. Like, so Varta's super cool and we work with them that like, we get to do educational content and, kind of have free reign of like, here's what we have to get across. However you guys do it is up to you. So whether that's in a race car, on a bike, on a sim, whatever. But yeah, it's really just, my parents are the content team. So all our content's in-house. So basically people that understand it can be more than just a sticker on a car and that the return on investment can be more than just, oh, look, they saw you going by at 100 miles an hour on a single corner for 8 laps,
Right.
So that's kind of the goal.
That's awesome. So how many days a week and how many hours a week are you working out, driving, putting into this endeavor?
Yeah. So, I mean, when it comes to driving training, it's very, very, thin and far between. Like we don't really get to go testing a lot.
Okay.
I work with these guys, Rush of Central Texas, fantastic program. I'm on a super great, relationship with them. So it's not even that there's opportunities that we can't take. It's just the cars aren't hitting the track very often. And that's just the thing with motorsports. So my practice is the 20 minutes we get before qualifying on the race weekend to sort myself out. But yeah, I mean, mental, physical, it's usually just, obviously it tapers down when we travel because hotel gyms are sometimes a little ghetto and not the easiest, But I work at a great CrossFit gym, CrossFit Yakarhu down in South Congress, right near downtown. And I just go open gym, Usually 5 days a week is always the goal, and then see what happens when we end up traveling. And I'm at a Holiday Inn trying to figure out how to get the broken bench machine to work on a random Tuesday.
How often do you work out? Is it every day? Are you 3-4 hours a day in the gym? Like, how's that
It
work?
depends. Like, I think when it comes to usually anytime during the weekdays when we're not traveling, usually go in for an hour or two. I got a guy, Jay from Hudson River Athletics is my guy. He's been coaching me since I was 12 years old. So he does my programming, go in, and then get out, get some Chipotle on the way home. And then usually take the weekends for like fun activities. That's when I'll be taking the bike to the track and doing that sort of thing.
Where do you track the most?
So the track season hasn't even started yet. So right now the parking lots are my go-to training facility. But Crescent down in Dallas, Eagles Canyon is up there as well. We hopefully have an in for Harris Hill to get up to do that, a little more local, that I can kind of just, cruise up there with a backpack full of tools and a tracksuit and go rip.
Jesh, Drive with Jesh is a good friend of mine. He actually has, he invited me to come drive my car on Harris Hill with him and shoot some YouTube. So I'll introduce you to him.
For sure. Yeah.
He'd be fun to at least get you out on the bike. What is your passion? Is it 2 wheels, 4 wheels?
Anything with wheels.
Anything with wheels.
Anything. I'll drive a tricycle down. I'll run Coda's turn 1 in reverse with a tricycle if I have to, but no, anything. I just like taking things going fast.
We can make that happen.
Yeah, I think it'd be pretty sick. Yeah, honestly, it'd probably be pretty sketchy. You could get up to some speed there.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, anything with wheels. Like, that's my wheels and an engine. Doesn't matter what powers it. I'll make it go fast. And so the bike has been, cars don't scare me as much anymore. This is about as scary as you can get. So we're getting there.
That's awesome. What's the end goal for you, right? So you're driving all of this. Your parents are your media team. What's the end goal for you? Where do you want to go?
I mean, it's kind of just build the brand and business around motorsport to be able to make money around motorsport, to then be able to kind of just drive whatever,
Okay.
Not really interested in the whole, F1, WEC, IMSA, that sort of thing. Like, that doesn't, I don't know. Maybe it's just a circuit racing thing for me now after doing rallycross, but that sort of program doesn't really interest me anymore. I'd rather jump a car 160 feet and do that and crash into people and do rallycross and off-road. So basically just be able to drive whatever, see what opportunities come up, and then, go from there. Kind of just be on call pretty much, of invited to do the things I want to do, get to say no to the things I don't want to do, and make cool content along with it.
So what are the things that you want to do?
Anything airborne is fun. Like, Stadium Super Trucks was on the bucket list last year. I couldn't get a test, so I couldn't race. That's basically, for those who don't know, they say take the Grand Prix of Long Beach, for example. Awesome street track that's already treacherous. They put huge ramps in the middle of it and take trophy trucks that are set up for the tarmac and race each other. And it's kind of exhibitionist, kind of like, it's a weird in between. But I mean, they'll jump higher than catch fences. Like, they are soaring. Obviously Rallycross. So Rally X is a rally championship from overseas that's coming to America. They're going to have a really solid grid. They're doing a really good job getting a program together. And then, rest in peace, Nitro Cross. If it ever comes back, I'm on call. If you want to boot it back up, let me know. But that's kind of the plan.
That's Travis Pastrana, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Travis, reach out, man. We got to get him back on a bike.
And not with Throw One this time. We got to get back to, just doing cool stuff. That was like, shout out Nitro Cross, rest in peace. I got 2 rounds with you guys. It was a blast. Bring it back, do it yourselves, do it right. Let's get flying cars back.
I love it. Dude, that's crazy. When you win, so let's say you go to an event and you win, is there prize money in that, or how does that work?
I mean, it depends. So I think, I forget what. So Nitro Cross was the first one that I drove that had like a prize purse.
Okay.
I think for the end of the year, I was in FC2. So that was their feeder category, 1 step down from the top. I think it was winning the championship was 150 grand.
Okay.
5 grand for the winner of the weekend.
Okay.
So if you won the final, 5 grand, and then it goes down 4, 3, 2, 1. That's it.
Okay. So 5 places gets you down to $1,000. And by the time you've got to that $1,000 winning, you spent how much?
It was 50 grand to be there.
So, okay, cool. I won 5th place. It was 49,000, not 50 grand.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's the problem. Motocross is the best.
Mm-hmm.
If I could go back in time and pick what I was talented at and I wanted to be in motorsport, I'd be in motocross because, I think it's $250 for the end of Supercross, the $500,000 prize purse, and then 450s, it's $1 million. Like, on a factory ride where you're either not paying anything or getting paid, like, dude, I'd be in motocross because, like, you can win amateur races and, pocket more than I won in nitrocross. Like, so I think motocross has it down in terms of, like, the motocross, supercross prize pool.
Yeah.
They do SMX World Championship where it's like, I think it's what it's called, whatever their one night race is. And the prize purse is 500 grand for the 250 class. Like,
wow.
Sign me up. Where can I get on that program with 4 wheels? That's what I want.
That's okay. I like that. Yeah, I think that's the misconception I think a lot of people see when they're, especially like they're watching ESPN and these guys are doing all these events. The prize money at the end probably isn't as much as they think it is after all the expenses to get there.
Yeah. I think and most of it is, a lot of the prize money higher up in motorsport is manufacturer incentive.
Okay.
It's more for the teams, like the team points at the end of the season, kind of like F1.
Yeah. How do you get on with a good team? Yeah.
Always. It's yes, you can get picked up and supported. Like, I'm sure that if you went to NASCAR, some guy that has to pay to be there versus someone who's talented, who's putting them on the top step of the podium every weekend, he's probably getting a better deal than the guy that's just paying to be there. Like, but at the end of the day, you still have to bring something. And so the higher up guys, like look at Sergio Perez in F1, he brought $30 million in, Mexican company sponsorship to the team.
Yeah.
His salary was whatever, but he was still finding this funding that was coming to Red Bull. Red Bull got a check every year for $30 million from his sponsors to be there.
Yeah.
And so that's the incentive. And so it's always a game of like, no one really is going to just say, oh yeah, you're good. We're a good team. We want to win. We'll put you on a free ride. Because there's always someone that's 90% as good as you with a bigger checkbook that'll say, I want to be on the team because I'm good. Here's $1, $2, $3, $20 million.
Yeah, I think that's a tough thing. Like, how do you fix that in motorsport where the cream does rise to the top?
I mean, I think it's like I said, the problem has become it's just people are willing to pay it, And the FIA who like oversees everything is no better. It cost me like $2,000 to renew my license a year for a card, So I think
well, Texas Real Estate Commission charges me $2,500 a year.
Yeah,
so.
there you go. So see, it's all mafia, just BS everywhere. No, I think
we're not saying the FIA is a mafia. Okay, that was a joke.
Listen, I'm racing in the States now. It's under whatever, like USAC, whatever that is. Free for all. Totally American. I love it.
Yeah.
They didn't ask for any like official results. They were like, how old are you? You raced for 6 years? All right, here's your license. Love it. It was like $200. So, no, I think motorsport has such a more deep-rooted problem than anyone sees on the surface because at the bottom line, we're at the point where people are willing to pay the money.
Yeah.
And so if those people are still there, why would the teams sacrifice? They're saying we're still winning. We're still on the top step of the podiums, except we have these kids that we're, draining money from left and right.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just, I'm sure it's like with any sport. It's the parents that just have a blank checkbook from whatever construction gravel company they own that, pays the bills. And, you have to pay to be a part of driver academies now. You want to be a part of, like I had a buddy of mine in go-karts who got approached by Ferrari. They say, you want to be a Ferrari Academy driver? And he got super excited. This was his ticket. They're like, okay, yeah. It's 250 grand. Plus you have to run with Prema. So that's another 800 for F4.
Mm-hmm.
But you get the patch on the suit and you get to run with Prema. And he says, well, I'm spending over $1 million. They're like, yeah, but you get the opportunity to do it. And so that right there is the problem is that just there's people willing to spend the money. And when that's there, it's not going to change.
Yeah, it would be, you see the movies. My son loves that movie about, oh, geez, what the heck is that movie? the kids that are sim racing. They
Yeah,
get
Gran
to,
Turismo.
Yeah, Gran Turismo. My son watches that movie on replay all the time, and I'm like, buddy, that's I love the
Yeah.
optimism there, but reality is that that's probably not going to happen.
The sim to real life sort of sales pitch is a big pet peeve of mine, because you look at anyone successful that went from the sim to real life. One, the programs like that don't exist anymore.
Well, Max Verstappen's working on one, right?
He's working on one.
Yeah.
But it's always behind the scenes of like what it's really going to be, you know? And again, the sim is fantastic. It will teach you the fundamentals. Any of the sim to real life stories, those people who are still chucked into multi-million-dollar programs, they're going to learn to drive the car.
Right.
There is no, it's not like, what I did. I went from an Xbox to a rental go-kart to Germany. I had no, like Gran Turismo, they had Nissan's factory support, and they basically went on the program from driving 370Z Cup cars all the way up.
Yeah.
Again, that program's gone. Doesn't exist really anymore. It's not, the same as it was. So I think the sim to real life mismatch is a lot more intensive than, oh yeah, I'm good on iRacing. I'll just jump in an MX5 Cup Series and make it happen.
Yeah.
You're still operating and competing in multi-million-dollar racing programs.
Right.
And that is tricky. And it's, who knows, how much testing did they do? How much, background driver training did they do? So I don't like when it's viewed that they go straight from the sim, they just jump into a random race weekend and go out there and win, They had a lot of support to get them ready.
I've driven we're here at the T11 car condos. There's like probably 9 people in here that have really nice, like $35,000 simulators. Jumping in a simulator, I could put any car on there. It doesn't have to be an F1 car, and then jump in this car on the track, and it is completely different. There's driving something like this on the track definitely scary, especially when it's now like if you hit the wall, that's 350 grand gone.
I mean, I'll give credit. So this guy, Suelio, he's a big YouTuber that went from sim to real life, and that was basically because the business from his sim racing kicked off enough he could do real racing.
Yeah.
I remember watching one of his first videos. He drove in the Radical, like North America Cup or whatever. He was fast, but he was struggling with everything else. So he missed 3 caution flags and got a penalty because it was double wave yellows, incident, and he flew past 3 people.
Yeah.
Past people under yellow. Stuff like that is, I think, what people underestimate when they look at sim to real life. On iRacing, flag flashes right in your screen. See it? Oh, okay. Caution, there's someone parked there. First time I came here to COTA, I'm a professional driver. I've been to, every European like F1 track in the book, like Spa, Zandvoort, everything. I came here. The first session, I spent the entire time driving slow, looking for the flag marshals to know where everything is. So the procedures and the multitasking is where I think the sim doesn't prepare you, because it kind of holds your hand,
Yeah.
So that's
there's a lot going on in the car, right? Like you're shifting, you're going around this corner. Oh, I'm in 3rd gear. I should be in 2nd gear, right? So you have all of this stuff going on in the car, right? The heater's on. You got to turn that off. I mean, there's just like, whatever. And then you got to look up and, there's other cars on the track. And then, by the way, there's people telling you to slow down or to let this person pass or whatever. It's
tricky.
So at Turn 11 here, the car condos, we get track days, and it's, my first couple times out on the track was very intimidating. And now I can get out there and just rip around. And, I've been on the track enough to see, but it's a little challenging sometimes because you have people who've never been on the track and they're doing 30 miles an hour through the S turns. I'm coming in at 100, 110, and they're doing 30. And that's a recipe for.
It's really tricky. I think the sim is a great tool. I don't think it's the end all be all.
Right.
Like I don't think it replaces the lower levels of motorsport.
Right.
Like karting, sure. I think you can go from a sim, you can probably do without spending, 20 grand a weekend to be in a go-kart, right? Yeah. But the low-level Cup Series, I drove a Ford Fiesta. stuff like, MX5 with SCCA. Like, yeah, I don't think that you can go from a sim and just jump right into a GT3 car. I don't think you should, because spotting flag marshals at 80 versus 160 is very different, And so I think I love when YouTubers like Suelio were super open in his videos that like these weekends don't go perfect because I'm not used to a real race car.
Right.
And I remember a few years back, like Jarno Otmir, who did a lot of the F1 esports stuff, he started in real racing. And so if he went from sim to real life, well, he's already done Formula Renault and raced at Spa. Like, so that sort of like hidden information, I don't like when it's, kind of skewed, because the real chance of someone going from a simulator getting picked up into a multi-million-dollar program to develop them as a driver is very, very slim.
Right.
Very, very slim. Which is why I'm an advocate for get out there in a rental cart, go to a championship, get used to lining up on a grid, the real adrenaline, putting the helmet on, not on some crazy esports setup that drives like Mario Kart with your graphics turned down so that you get more frames so you can bounce over the curb better. Like, get out there in something real and do it for real, even if it's a rental cart.
What's your favorite track to drive on?
Man. So there's two that are tied, but for the same reason. Like, the two that are tied are Spa, obviously, because it's just old school. It's still super dangerous. Like, I love it. I drove Road America for the first time last season, and it's an American Spa. Like, driving Road America felt the same as when I drove at Spa. And so Road America is up there for sure as like one of my favorite tracks of all time. And for those at home, my resume is pretty much all the racing I did overseas. We were on all the F1 tracks because our little Ford Fiestas were tacked onto this giant, like, multi-class endurance series that we had our own little sprint series in. So Spa, Zandvoort, Assen, Hockenheim, Zolder, Nürburgring GP. Like, I've driven all of it. And Road America is one of the best tracks I've ever touched.
My son would ask you a million questions. Sorry, Braden, you're not here. You gotta go to school. What's it like? How do you deal with? All right, you're lining up. You've spent all this time, money. You've only had 30 minutes really of prep time.
Rallycross is like 5. We get like a 5-minute practice, so like no practice at all.
Man, that's wild. How do you deal with all the pressure of that? I mean, your parents are running around doing your social media. You're in a different country probably at this time. You've spent a lot of money to get there. Like, how's the pressure for you?
It's great. I love it. It'd be no fun if there wasn't any pressure, Like, then it's pointless. So I think the pressure's great. I love it. I find that I think it's why I love car racing so much is go-karts, like, you have one mechanic. And now I'm a mechanic for myself, so I don't even have them. So with the car racing, like, it's so many people behind you that, like, even when we ran one Fiesta, we had 4 mechanics and a chief engineer to run this little car. I'm gonna go out there and I'm gonna win. Like, this is not just for me. And so that side I love. And I'm always just a Hail Mary kind of person. Like, I'm at the point now when we drive the Rush SR with Grid Life, car's relatively cheap for a race car. I could total it and it'd be okay. That if I crash, I crash. And if not, I better be winning. So if there's not going to be a play it safe race in that car. And so that's kind of the attitude now that I have is go for broke, and wherever you end up, you end up.
Well, they do say if you're not in first, you're last.
Exactly.
Right. I forgot. Who said that, Bryce?
Ricky Bobby.
Ricky Bobby. I was kidding. All right. So you love the pressure.
Yeah.
Man, I couldn't imagine being 19, 20, dealing with all that pressure.
I mean, I'm so chill. Like, I'll sometimes almost fall asleep in the pre-grid just sitting in the car. Like, it's like white noise. The engine's running. It's kind of comfy. You just rest your head a little bit. Like, in the rallycross car all the time, it was so relaxing on the pre-grid that I could fall asleep if I wanted to.
That's crazy. Who's a big inspiration for you?
Man, I mean, Ayrton Senna growing up was like, even before I was racing, I was just like in awe of how he could drive. And so I think part of my problem is I loved that driving style so much, so I tried to take it on. It doesn't work in 90% of modern race vehicles just because we're in a very smooth is fast era,
Mm-hmm.
just with how much tech the cars have, how much, the tires have improved. It's very on rails. Like, it's kind of why I love rallycross, because I get to huck it sideways. And the Rush SR as well is on a semi-slick tire, so it's a little more playful. But yeah, he was kind of my number one, just like, he was the best, full stop, in Monaco, gapping Prost by like 1.2 seconds in quali in the same car with his already like world championship caliber teammate. Like, that's insane. Absolutely insane.
So Senna's your hero, but doesn't sound like you care to drive F1.
Nope. And I don't care. I would care to drive F1 if it was the 80s and the cars had 1,200 horsepower. And
Yeah.
I mean, you watch them around the old school videos and stuff. Like, I don't know, the cars are kind of boring now. It's more just who can deal with the computer the best, and especially now
Yeah.
with the new regs, like, I don't know. It's more and more I'm happy with my decision to not pursue F1 when I see the kind of state that everything's in. The drivers are just getting younger and wealthier, and it's a lot less of the sort of, Verstappen. Verstappen's kind of the last like old school attitude left of, look at how he races. Like, he races like Senna of either we crash or you give way. And so when you get the softer crowd of the kids that have just paid their way up to get the super license points and sit in reserve for a year and then finally get their shot, like, there's no edge there. I want to see fist fights like NASCAR. Like, make it. No wonder NASCAR's viewership is doing so good. Like,
Yeah.
the Truck Series intro for the Daytona 500 featured like 3 fist fights. Like, bring the edge, So I think that's what's gone from F1 from the old days of, the cars are safe. A lot of the corners that used to be sketchy with the car dancing in 5th gear are just kind of flat out and they just kind of go.
Mm-hmm.
So when you look at their pace compared to qualifying in the race, it's like 8 seconds slower. So that's where I kind of lost the magic of F1 for me. And it's different. Like, I love the guys at Russia Central Texas. A lot of their guys are just amateur guys. And so I'm the only professional driver on that team. So I get to coach. I get to bring everyone's level up, you know? And I think working with them for the first time last year, they got a taste of, what it was like to work with someone that I know exactly what the car is doing. I know exactly what it needs to do. Here's how we get there. They loved it. And so working in that style of program, I love, because kind of like the dirt, the car's not at its full potential yet. We're getting there. And Grid Life runs events that are fantastic for their own reasons, and that's separate. When I started to get a taste of higher level road racing programs, you show up, they have data from 3 years of this car on this track, and they can say, oh yeah, this day it was the same temperature and the same, amount of grip. Here's your braking zones, brake here, 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 and here. I go out, I do my laps, I pull in. Yeah, you're 5 miles an hour slow, brake a little bit later. I go out, I do my laps. By session 3, I'm on pace. And it's very textbook. Brake before the corner, turn in, trail brake, back on the gas, easy. Same thing you'll do in this at COTA.
Yeah.
When I got to the dirt, it's like, okay, there's no data because no one's ever driven this track before because it's a street circuit in Las Vegas. Then that was my first taste of like, feel it out, go with your gut.
Yeah.
And then that car was still very underpowered. It was very slow. Driving Nitro Cross in 2024 and a 25 was basically a rally supercar. So 1,300 kilos, which is like 2,600 pounds, 550 horsepower, all-wheel drive, sequential gearbox, like menacing vehicle. And we didn't do a single data session in that car because session 1, the track's grooved and the dirt is almost like tarmac and you drive it like a road course. Second session, they water it, repack it, and it's 10 seconds slower because it's muddy and slippery. And there is no like, yeah, you brake here, turn in here. You're ripping the handbrake at 90, backing it into a corner. Like, there's no data for that. There's no way to like scientifically look at that and say, you need to do exactly this. Yeah. And so that's when I love the dirt, that it was literally just like send the car as hard as possible, go as fast as possible, and that's it.
That's awesome. I think you make a really good point because, if I go do a lap in this on COTA and I go, okay, I missed this turn here, missed that turn, and I could maybe shave off a couple seconds here or there, but after a while, I can only, 5 or 6 laps, I'm gonna go take a break for
Yep.
30 minutes and then go hit it again. Where yeah, when the course is always changing,
And they would change the tracks would change. Like it's pretty much motocross. Like sure, start of the day, you got to check up for that jump. Otherwise, you're flying way too far. Get to the end when the lip's blown out and you're bucking forward. It's like you got to hit it flat out, upshift in the air to bring the nose up, and it gets nuts. Like that's what I love. Like I love when it just gets nuts. So the racing style, the contact being encouraged. F1, they can't even swear on the radio, and they can't say bad words, or they get fined, however thousands of dollars. Our only rule was you can't hit people up the back. The doors are fair game. Like I could slide into a corner, no brakes with the handbrake, and door somebody out of the way, and they're like, sick, it's going in the highlight reel. So like that's the attitude that is missing. And I think that came from the Travis Pastranas, the Ken Blocks, the Brian Degans that were a part of Nitro Cross from the beginning.
Yeah.
That kept that edge. Like me and Travis talked, like him, his teammate Connor, we were like, we'll fist fight just to do it. Why not? Like get it for the camera, So that's what's missing in F1 to bring the personalities out.
So you think more fist fighting in F1 would definitely okay.
We'll take steps.
I would love to see
start with the bad words so we can get some trash talk back, and then maybe we can level up to fist fights in 2030.
I would love to see Max punch one of those guys.
Exactly.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
I mean, it'd be great.
Not like, and then it's like rallycross is so fun because I'm a racing fanatic. I do it for a living. Like I am so far in depth with every single aspect that goes into completing a Grand Prix.
Mm-hmm.
I can't watch 2 hours of F1. I watch the start, I can take a nap, I see where people finish, and that's it. Rallycross, you have 6 minutes to drive as fast and hard as you possibly can. You got to cross the finish line on 3 wheels? Do it. Ken Block took a 150-foot gap jump on 3 tires with a tire down. Why? Because he knew he only had to make it one more lap, and he would have still finished, wherever he was at. So that attitude of like flat out for 6 minutes, don't hold back versus, oh, well, yeah, I'll just save my tires and overtaking the pit stop, and I don't want to break my front wing on lap 1, so I'm gonna take it easy. Like, no, flying to turn 1 4 wide off like a land rush start and crash into each other. Like that's what people want to see.
Yeah, McLaren had a rough go of that here at COTA last year.
Yeah,
I was happy for that because I'm a Max fan. So
I grew up racing mostly in the Netherlands, so I am a Max fan just by like need of survival.
Yeah, need of survival.
Anyone else, they're like, yeah, get out. So
yeah, I'm a big Red Bull fan. I mean, they're so much so that they are now a unofficial sponsor of the channel. So, and we properly named this car Max.
Love it.
Yeah, my wife, because we have other cars and we've named them all, and my wife said, "What do you name this?" I'm like, "Max, of course." She's like, "Why Max?" I'm like, "It's a bull.
Yeah.
Max drives a Red Bull. It's blue. There you go, Max."
See, I never named the race cars because then I'd be too nice to them. I can't get emotionally attached. I can't do it. Like in Grid Life, if I named that car when the whole back cover flew off in one of the races, I would have felt bad for it. But I can't feel bad for him.
Poor Charlene.
Yeah, exactly. No, but it's been good. I mean, the Grid Life events are awesome. If you want to check, I'd highly recommend coming to check one out. Like they are a party. I mean, Road America, I think we had 38,000 fans. It matched or beat IMSA the week after.
That's what's crazy to me is I come to a lot of the events here, even NASCAR here, and nobody's at any of the races here at COTA.
Nope.
The IMSA races, I mean, there's a few people here, but there's nobody here for the races. Why do you think that is?
And again, like it's because when you rely on just the action on track, it's cool.
Yeah.
But you can only watch so much, and especially like I was worried at Grid Life. Road America is gigantic. Like. The facility itself is bigger than COTA, I think. Like, I don't know about track length, but just the actual, like, where everything goes and the campsites and whatever, and they have a drift track and all that, huge. And so I was concerned for our content of, like, okay, is it going to look like a ghost town?
Mm-hmm.
What Grid Life does is they say, okay, racing's cool. We're going to have time attack, so you get to see the fastest home-built race cars that, break track records. Sick. Rush SR, we're the kids at the back of the class throwing paper balls at each other. We're the only wheel-to-wheel proper like spec category that we go out and murder each other. And
I love how you phrase that. We were the kids at the back of the.
It is, dude. We're the ones like crashing into each other, spilling oil, like causing delays. Like that's us. Awesome. And our grid is 42 cars deep. And so like it gets rowdy, you know?
Yeah.
They're so small. We went 6 wide into turn 1 at Road America.
That's awesome.
And so that's the wheel-to-wheel entertainment. Then they do full course drift, which, you know, high level drift and you know, FD guys come out, like Von Gittin Jr. was there. They go out on the full-size racetrack in 1,000 horsepower drift cars and rip it. So there's the show. Then that's all the car stuff. All the culture behind it of everyone's intense, full access to the paddock for, it's like what, like $40 for admission?
Yeah.
You can walk right up to our tent and I'll let you sit in a race car. There's no $12,000 paddock pass to go see a garage. So that's the access. And then on Saturday night, they have a giant EDM stage that lights up for a few hours. So then you get festival people that say, well, I want to go to the EDM show because they have headliners that, you know, are bucket list to see. Well, might as well just get a weekend pass for like $80 and go look at race cars. And so that mesh is how you get 35,000 people to show up to what's arguably a less professional series.
Mm-hmm.
They don't care that it's not F1, F4, F3, or IMSA.
Yeah.
Cool cars, doing cool stuff. EDM festival at night.
Yeah.
Festival atmosphere the whole weekend. Like, that's the formula. And it got so bad that I'm pretty sure the reason we're not going back to Road America is because they wanted to charge them so much money for the amount of people they brought that they couldn't afford it. Wow. Road America, shout out for like fumbling the coolest event that you guys probably do of the year. Now we're going to Watkins Glen for a home race for me. So just saying.
You know, that's true. So we do F1 every year here.
Mm-hmm.
We do the IMSA race here as well. I like the IMSA race because the cost, right? So if I wanted to get paddock passes for, it's literally a tenth of the cost to go to F1 race. And then I literally can go through and get my son, we have hats they're just covered in signatures. I don't even know whose signatures they are. And it's every IMSA driver. So, I mean, that's a lot more fun. I think it's a better experience for the fans and they get actual access. And I get it. F1, these guys are, you know, superstars. So it's like everybody having access to Taylor Swift. I mean, they're not going to do that. Yeah.
No, I think what Grid Life does great is they're doing now that we've kind of talked to them that we're kind of a little bit of a case study for them of bringing professional drivers down to them that, listen, by now, if I was on the F1 path, I need to be in Formula 2 by now, winning to get, you know, be able to say that I can wear a Ferrari Polo and sit in a reserve seat with a headset on. Cool. Yeah. That'd be my career. And then pray that, you know, Charles Leclerc gets, you know, sick or falls off a bike and breaks his toe and can't drive, and then maybe I'll get to jump in the car for a weekend. What Grid Life is doing is saying, okay, super low cost to run, super accessible for fans. Let's get people in the Rush SR that are professional drivers so that top 10 is a professional series. And I think that's what's great. Like those right now, it's kind of like when you get to the top 5 professional series, you know, Sunoco sponsored one of the teams. Everyone there are professional drivers. The racing standards are impeccable. Like we're racing with millimeters from each other.
Yeah.
Get towards like top 10 and down towards the top 15. Fast weekend warriors that, you know, they can drive, but you know, they still have normal jobs. The bottom half of the field, they just want to go have fun. And that's cool. They'll race with each other and shuffle around and be 6 seconds off the pace. But that's okay because the field is so big, the cars are so accessible that it works. That, yeah, I qualify good, I'll be up there. Qualify bad, it's a good onboard, get to go through the pack a little bit. So I think they do a really good job of having a spread out field, but keeping those, that the top 8, that's a professional series. And that's real hard racing.
That's awesome. What advice? So I'm a 13-year-old kid in my parents' media room driving simulator all day. I'm looking at you, son. What's your advice to a young kid who wants to get into racing and let's say they want to get into F1, right? What's other than having a boatload of money? What's your advice for them?
Drive anything you can. Doesn't matter what it is. Like rental carts. There's a competitive rental series. They do it at COTA. It's 4 weeks long. Get out. Like I always say, the simulators are fantastic. You'll learn fundamentals. It'll be a blast. Get out and drive something real. Get out of the house. Like you need to really feel the pressure of putting on a helmet, sliding down into the seat, lining up for a race start. Then there's a timetable delay, so you got to sit for an extra 10 minutes, and now you're all amped up and ready to go and controlling everything. Like, get used to going through the motions of race events. You could do that in a rental cart. So rental cart is fantastic. I love them. I still do it. I did Coda's League, and I swept it. Now I race there for free on the credits I won from it. But no, drive whatever, whether that's LO206 lawnmower engines at a proper kart track.
Yeah.
Clapped out rentals here at Coda. Or a Spec Miata or a Formula 4 car. Like, just get used to going through the motions of practice, qualify, race, the nerves, seeing through a helmet. I think that's important.
What about getting sponsors? What should they, if they're wanting to like really take it serious, like how do they get sponsors? How do they talk to those people? Because I mean, that's what you're going through right now, right?
Social media, Instagram, TikTok, like everything. That's what they care about. For us, any sponsorship, the stickers are formality.
Mm-hmm.
They want the content. They want to be the collaborator on the post and tagged and shown to, we get probably 100,000 something views per reel. That's what they want to see. That's all. That's it. It doesn't matter. They're not going to care. The best of the best live streams that Grid Life does, you're not going to see that sticker.
Yeah.
So social media is the in that you can put the sticker on the car as a formality. And I think it's important for you to, just do that for content and to rep them, but build the following. That's it. That's all they want.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of young kids, 13, 14 years old. There's a kid here locally, I think, that I think it was like, I want to say 12. And he was like, hey, I'm trying to get into F4 or whatever, how old he was. I'm trying to get into F4. I need to get my social media to this. Help me out.
And listen, for anyone on social content, like people going to look at the same clips of the cars going on around the track so much. Like, you got to do more.
Yeah.
For me, whether that's, motorcycles or, we do a lot where we'll just go out and do random stuff. Like, we were just at this RC drift track called the Hobby Shop yesterday, where we're trying to talk with them, and we do a lot of educational programs with RC cars. But content like that, like, they want to see you.
Right.
You can basically just textbook post, yeah, here's me in my helmet and my cool race car. Then you're just another faceless, helmet that's out on a track. Like, people, I think, skip over the personality fact that people buy into is more than just, hi, I want to be a race car driver. Here's my race car. Sponsor me.
It's interesting. I see a lot of the F1 drivers in their social media. I mean, they have full social media teams, and none of their content that I've seen is like entertaining. It's, it's Piastri showing his new helmet, like to your point. And there's nothing I've seen on, I mean, these guys are going to get millions of views because it's their name and like on a video or whatever. But it's very rare that I see somebody on there put out like the only people I've actually seen do a really good job of it is the Racing Bulls team.
Mm-hmm. I mean, the problem is none of it's relatable.
Mm-hmm.
I don't relate that Carlos Sainz is out playing pickleball in Monaco driving a Ferrari. Like, to 99.999% of people, that's not relatable.
Yeah.
When we come to our content, I bought this thing for $4,000 off Marketplace on a random Tuesday because I needed a track bike. That's cool. That's like, it's a little more like, yeah, I'm not in a Ferrari. I'm not, playing pickleball. Here's me at the gym. Here's me like buying cheap like bikes off Marketplace to go rip around on. Like, that's what people want to see. Yeah. And I think what the Deegans as a family, but specifically like Hayden on the Supercross and motocross side, he's not necessarily relatable on paper. Like, he's racing for Star Racing Yamaha, doing, winning $500,000 prize purses in Supercross. But his YouTube content, it's him screwing around in a Walmart on like one of the mobility scooters. Like, relatable, down to earth.
Yeah.
The kid's in a multi-million-dollar dirt bike program, racing with the best of the best, training with the best of the best. But his content still shows that he's a 19-year-old kid, So I think that's important. And I think that's what a lot of people miss when it comes to content and why there's no buy-in to F1 drivers.
Yeah.
I don't care to look at Verstappen in his sim overlooking Monaco's coastline, Senna going back to Brazil to go karting and, fly RC planes. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. There's been a few of those guys that I've seen.
Behrman?
Yeah, Ollie.
Yeah.
I ran into him actually in Monaco. But he like did a bunch of different races. Like he went back and did a bunch of karting last
Yeah.
year and did, you know, content around it. And I thought that was pretty interesting. Like I like that stuff. So
Yeah.
yeah, you're making a really strong point. I see what you're saying.
Like that's what we do. Like, so we work with Blue Shock Race. Like we help bring them to America, and they're running a really successful program now. I go to some of their races and they prep a go-kart for me, and I'll go out there and I'll let the, 12-year-old kids go there and kick my butt because I haven't raced a go-kart in years. And like that's, when you take the ego out of it of being, oh, well, I raced Nitro Rallycross with Travis Pastrana. I don't need to drive a go-kart. Like, yeah, I do, because I'm not good at it anymore, and I'll let them kick my butt, and it's good for the camera. So I think when you take the ego out of the content that everyone wants to be the pitch perfect F1 style racing driver of, here's my $10,000 custom helmet. Here's my, Formula 4 car.
Yeah.
Get out of it. Have a little bit of edge. I think that's what we get back to. Just have some edge. Like make it fun, make it different. You don't have to do the same formula of trying to, copy the guys that are at the top, because they're already at the top. They can do whatever they want.
Yeah. I think that's too like why people love, Daniel Ricciardo and Max back in the day. I mean, those guys were just having fun.
Yeah.
And you could really see them having fun. Now everything is so tense with, I mean, look at the McLaren guys. Like it looks like they're beefing all the time, and they're on the same team.
Yeah. I think we're at the end of a tip over point of a generation. Like it's basically a race of whenever Fernando or Lewis retires, that's the end of that like generation of driver, right?
Which is probably this year.
Probably, yeah. Depends if Ferrari does Ferrari things. But when I look at like Max versus, even when Max came in, he came in like a ball of fire.
Oh yeah.
He was the most controversial driver in that paddock. Got called up to Red Bull and won his first race with Red Bull and was like, here's the proof. I'm here to stay. I just don't see the buy-in from anyone on any of these new drivers coming in, because they're coming in from very wealthy families, from nowhere, that no one's watching them come through and saying, oh, I'm going to follow him when he gets to F1. The last one that was like that for me was Liam Lawson.
Yeah.
I watched him when he did DTM and Super Formula. Like, that was sick. But other than that, like, any of them, like, I just don't see the same buy-in anymore. And so I think it's going to get very dull very quickly.
Yeah.
Because like I said, they're coming in younger and wealthier, and it's becoming very like, it's going to just become a rich kids club series at some point.
Yeah, and that's exactly. I don't want to get too far into this rabbit hole, but like with Coda going private, I mean, you've got a lot of people like me who would drive 6, 8, 7 times a year, and now I don't get to drive at all anymore, except for I spent way too much money on a car condo, so I get to go twice. 2 days, twice a year now. Yep. So there's a lot of, we have some mutual friends who've got a lot to say about it as well. So I'll bring him on and let him talk about it instead of you.
No, I think Coda going private is a perfect example of the problem with motorsport as a whole, of the big players that control the logistics, the tracks, the FIA, the series, everybody. With Coda going private, there's people that will pay for the membership, however much it's going to cost. And for them, logistically, having a small group of people paying a high dollar amount to have access versus a large amount of people spending less money, to them, in their eyes, I see how it makes sense.
Yeah,
and in a way, I don't blame. Not that I don't blame them. They're looking at it from a business perspective.
For sure, they're looking at the dollar
obviously from a culture and access perspective, it's horrendous because the people that could use it as an in that are local don't get the opportunity now.
Yeah.
And so I think it's a perfect example of, at the end of the day, it's like there's people that are willing to spend the money, so the model will work. I wish that I could say they're going to go private and no one's going to sign up for it, and then the year after we'll be back and we'll be set. But I think it's disappointing that that's what's dulling out the sport. And for people like yourself that will probably never step foot in a professional sense of a race team and running in a program like that, but still enjoy the sport and have passion about the sport. And so that's where I think that
how do you think we get more people to come back and be fans of sports? Because like I was saying earlier, of this sport, obviously, because like I was saying earlier, F1, everybody's here. 400,000 people are here. NASCAR, you can't even break probably 10,000 people here at this race. The Le Mans race or the Lone Star Le Mans race, probably less. MotoGP is probably the only one that gets, and I actually have never been to the MotoGP, sadly enough. Sorry, I'm coming this year, I promise.
I think it's driver personality. We need people bought in. Like, that's our goal. We're starting to get there for me.
Yeah. Do you think the social media aspect of that helps?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We had 3 people at Laguna Seca at Grid Life that said, we came here to see you.
That's awesome.
That, had either gotten in touch from us from Instagram or it happened at Nitro Cross Richmond. It was we were doing a media day at the NASCAR race that was the month before.
Yeah.
We were doing an autograph thing. It was me, Pastrana, and then Blake Wilkie, who builds all the, super cool bugs. And they had stepped away to go do a press conference. So I was kind of the only one at the autograph booth. And I was like, whatever, like, I'll just sit here and look important.
Yeah.
And this family comes up and it was their son's birthday. And they said, we're thinking about coming to Nitro. We're not sure yet. And so we had vouchers that we were giving out of basically free entry if you were there. So I signed a card, signed a hat. And I said, listen, like, hit me up. Here's a voucher, a free ticket. If you end up coming, let me know. We get an Instagram message from them the month after, the day before the Friday practice, and say, we're going to be there. Let us know. So we got them in and gave them the tour of the pit box. And so, like, we're slowly getting to the point now with me where whether it's even 3 people, that's success for us. If they say, we came here to see you drive, party in a banana costume, whatever. And I think that's what the buy-in is going to be, that for something like, the series that can't get the attendance, they need people to buy in for the drivers.
Yeah.
Go to a Supercross race, half that stadium, they just there to see Hayden Deegan. They just want to see him ride a dirt bike. That's what's important.
Keep doing the social media. You guys are crushing. I love the content that your mom's doing all the editing and shooting.
So we're kind of a mixed bag. Like, Dad does the shooting.
Filmer, okay.
He's the one that says, how close can I get before you hit me?
Poor dad.
But it's like The Hangover. It's not gambling if you know you're going to win. I know I'm not going to hit you. Mom is definitely on like the longer form storytelling side.
Got it. Okay.
We got this guy Renners from Latvia who came up from filming like drifting and drift masters and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So his spin is very like upbeat, fast. Like when it comes to editing the race cars, he's great. And he's also out there. He's light on his feet with that gimbal. He gets it done. So it's a 3-man media operation plus me. So for us, like the success metric for me, Nitro Cross Mission, we had 1 person showed up. They said, we're here to see you drive.
That's so cool. How does it make you feel?
Oh, it's great. And then what happened in Laguna when it was like 2 or 3 people that I definitely didn't know who were like, yeah, we see you on Instagram. Like when you were going to be here, we came, blah, blah, blah. Like that is our success metric. And then as that ramps up, hopefully with Grid Life, it's 1,000 people, 3,000 people, like bringing in a solid amount of crowd that's out there that's holding up number 11 that are ready to rip. But
I think your number was on the Cadillac car I saw yesterday.
All right, not bad. Yeah, I know. That's why I can't go to F1. Paris has my number, so I can't. Sorry, that's why I'm not there. But
how does that make you feel when somebody shows up to an event and they're like, "Hey, we're here to see you"?
It's incredible.
Yeah,
and that's why I think plays into my driving style. Like I want to put on a show. Like I would rather finish 3rd and almost total the car 6 times doing the craziest overtakes of the weekend than just run away from P1 from pole. Like it happened at Grid Life all the time. Like we had a couple car failures that just come with race car stuff. I got to start at the back of a 38 car field. And the onboard from that was unbelievable. And that has given us content for the past like 3 months.
Nice.
So I'm always in the camp of put on a show. Like, I don't care. When it came to rallycross, it may not have been the fastest, but I want to back that thing into the corner. Why? Because when we go out and, whether it's the announcers or any of the people watching, some Swedish kid driving clinical, just kind of the perfect amount of slip angle to get the right amount of drive out of the corner versus some American kid that started in rental carts going 90 degrees sideways, 5th gear pinned. They're going to talk about that more. So I think that's what it comes down to is just putting on a show. And it reflects when we do get the fan engagement because they're here to stay once they lock in.
I love that. I always like when people come up to me like, "Oh, I love your Instagram" or whatever. I'm like, "Oh, cool." I don't know what to say.
Yeah.
I'm always like, so I could imagine if somebody is like so excited to see you, like you're just like, I mean, like,
Yeah.
what's your response? Ellis, I love you.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, it's kind of just, it's every scenario. It's like, just, of course, appreciation. Like, thank you. Good to see you guys. Like, thanks for coming out. I always say what I think I pride myself in is that, like, the same person they watch on Instagram, they get in the paddock.
Yeah,
regardless of the weekend I'm having. Like, we had people show up in Laguna Seca. I just was fresh off a DNF from literally the smallest wire short on one of the roll bar hoops. They get the same person.
Yeah.
And I think that's important because for the younger kids, like, if they follow me on Instagram, the same person that they watch that is entertaining, they'll get in person to, jump in the car, put my helmet on. I don't care. Like, I think the experience for them, that comes from, I didn't grow up in this world. I started late for motorsport. These kids start when they're 5 years old.
Yeah.
It's normal to them. But 6 years ago, I was on the other side of that fence, whether it was at Formula E, when I was way younger, we went to Lime Rock to see one of our friends, and I was sitting on that hill watching the race cars, walking around the paddock saying, "Can I sit in it? Can I sit in it?"
Yeah.
So coming from that side of being a fan first, I know the sort of what it feels like to be on the other side of that paddock. And so you gotta be the superhero they expect you to be when you show up. It's kind of like that. Like, there's an expectation, and at the end of the day, yes, we bring the funding. Yes, you bring the sponsorship to help pay for the racing, but you're still working.
Yeah.
Like, you're still at the responsibility of the team and overall the series to give the fans the experience, because the time it takes for me to find a sponsorship, this is my passion. This is what I love to do. This is what I do for work. They're spending their hard-earned money to come watch it. And by the end of the time, with plane tickets, like, they're spending the same amount we do for accommodation, food, everything.
Yeah.
You better give them the time of their life when they show up to your pit box because they want to see your race car.
I love that attitude.
Yeah.
I love that attitude. How do you deal with, like, let's say you spend all this time, money, and then you have a DNF? How does that work with you? How do you feel about that?
I mean, listen, it's just put it all out there. At the end of the day, if you put it all out there, there's nothing to regret. Like, mechanical DNFs, look back if it could be avoided, make sure it doesn't happen again. That's always my attitude. Like, I never get out of a car angry for a mechanical fault. My attitude with the team is, what happened? Was it preventable? Okay, then there's some frustration.
Yeah.
If it wasn't preventable, it's not a problem we've ever run into. This has never happened before. Okay, make sure it doesn't happen again.
Have you had like a series of like just a weekend where like everything that could go wrong went wrong?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, how'd you deal with that?
I mean, I just go out and drive the car. Like, it's one of those that I'll drive that thing till the wheels fall off. When we were at Laguna Seca, we were back to back. We had that wire short out that happened at the end of race one. We thought we found the issue. We didn't. Had to open up the actual loom to get to it to re-insulate it. So then it shorted out again in race two under safety car. And race four came around, or race three came around. I started from the back, drove the wheels off it. Race four, I got rear-ended in turn one and broke the radiator. And I watched that temperature gauge soar, and I was like, whatever. If it blows up, it blows up. Like, I drove that thing. I forget what the gauge hit. I was driving, and it broke the radiator and broke the fans. And it's a motorcycle engine. It runs very hot.
Yeah.
And so I'm going, and I see the little warning light come on. I'm like, oh, all right. I think it hit like 186 degrees Fahrenheit. And I was like, okay. And then it stabled out. It stopped. I was like, oh, we're fine. Car was running. It was a little smoky in the back, but it was running. I finished the race. I pull in. Soon as I stop, the cap flies off and coolant just goes everywhere. And I get back to the pit lane, and I'm like, hey, guys, like, I don't know with the engine. I was like, it hit 186, but then it kind of stopped. Like, oh, that's the max readout. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
So who knows what it hit? The little Rush SR that could. But no, it was great. Like, as long as everyone's working hard, I'm not mad.
Yeah.
If everyone's being lazy, I'll be pissed. Like, this could have been avoidable.
Yeah.
But I'll give it to them. Like, The guys we work with, Russia Central Texas, they are the hardest working people in that paddock. They are on the ball every single time. Like
That's
they
awesome.
are knee deep in it 10 minutes before the race starts. That's what I care about. So if we're working hard and we're doing the most we can, it's race cars. Stuff happens.
How do you deal with and how do you feel about your parents have like changed their whole lives pretty much, right, to support you?
They love it.
They love it.
They listen. This is what I go to. What would have happened if I never started racing is we'd be living up in the Catskills in New Jersey. And I love you guys so much. You guys would have gotten so bored. They're like, oh, things aren't going wrong. It's not going sideways. We're not trying to figure out how to spend like our last $10 on a set of tires. I don't know what to do with myself. So like, I think that, yes, we uprooted everything. I basically sacrificed my entire young adult life, my teenage years from 15 to 19. I was alone in an apartment in Germany with no friends and nothing, racing every single weekend, in pouring rain. Like those 4 years of my life of what like the high school into college experience would have been, gone. Never went to a high school football game, never went to prom. I never stepped foot in a high school, like gone, never getting them back. Wouldn't have it any other way. I think that when I look at us as a family, I think this is the perfect scenario because you guys would be so bored if you didn't have to deal with my craziness on a daily basis. And fighting through the fire of starting businesses is what you guys do best. And despite the stress and anxiety, I know that you love it. So you guys are startup people, and this is just a whole different type of startup. And so we would end up in the same place, and I'd rather struggle and have to scrap it out and go racing than trying to build another tech startup to hopefully sell for $1 million. But that's just my outside opinion looking in.
Next episode, we're bringing the parents
Bring the
on.
parents on.
Behind the scenes of the parents.
Yep.
Yeah.
It'd be so easy if I sucked, because then we could just go home.
Yeah.
You could say, you know what? If you want to drive go-karts a couple times a year, you go, buddy.
Yeah.
But no, I jump into a Formula 3 car, 1,000 horsepower rallycross car, and immediately I'm on the pace, and I'm good at what I do, so it makes it extra difficult.
The difficult part is that you're good. That's yeah.
Every time we test with a new team, the first thing I say is, you guys are in trouble because he's talented. And so like, it is what it is. And that's why I think my focus has shifted. Instead of trying to just run in the top tier program and be I've talked with people that are on those manufacturer programs. It is not as fun as it looks. So I would rather get called up to jump race cars, do cool stuff, have the freedom to be able to just, like the Travis Pastranas and Ken Blocks of be everywhere, instead of being restricted in a box to 8 rounds a year and get to say that I drive for Ferrari or Alpine or Porsche. I'd rather just be able to do me. And that's why I like rallycross. It's undisputable.
Yeah.
When you watch me jump 150 feet through the air in a 600 horsepower rallycross car and then back it into a 3-story tall dirt corner, you can't do that.
Yeah.
I don't care who you are. Jensen Button showed up to Nitro Cross, looked at the jump, and went home. So, like, that's their favorite story. He literally looked at the gap jump, got on his private jet, and left.
Yeah, I don't blame
nope.
him.
So,
I mean, I don't blame him. I wouldn't do it. You got more, balls than me, I guess. So, well, all right. Ellis, thank you so much.
Thank you.
We can find you on Elysium on your Instagram, right?
If you look up
YouTube?
Elysium Racing, I say, like, I don't have a college degree. I got a PhD in being a liability. And so that's my attitude. So Ellis Spiezia, Elysium Racing, anywhere. Look us up. We're doing some cool stuff.
We'll leave it there. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, follow this channel. Go follow him. And if you didn't already, tell us your favorite part of this episode. Make sure you do that right now.